Welcome. Welcome to Making of a Musician. I guess you can see him sitting right next to me. If this was not him, I would be addressing him as Pandit Sanjeev Chimalgi. But I know Sanjeev and I know what he stands for, and I will just address him as Sanjeev. Welcome, Sanjeev.
Thank you, Mayur.
Yeah.
And that's so kind of you. No, you put me at ease straight away by just
Yeah,
listening to
that's the idea behind this conversation. And we're just having a nice chat like we used to when I was back in
Mhm.
Mumbai. That's the purpose of
Nice,
it.
nice.
Nice.
Sounds appealing.
Yes, Sanjeev, I know where your music started. I know where I have followed you, even despite being away from India, I've followed your music very closely. But for those in New Zealand and this part of the world, I'd like you to sort of start by how did you dip your toes in music, or how did music find you?
It's a kind of an odd story for me because I don't come from a musical descendants. Um, in the sense that I didn't have any professional musicians in my family. Um, I don't. I'm not born to, or nor is my father born to any. Um, I mean, my father is born to a tabla player, but he was also a tabla player out of shock. He was more of an amateur tabla player, a good one, but he took to tabla. My grandfather took to tabla play because he loved to listen to music, and he used to stay in Dharwad, which many of you may know that Harvard has been a home to a few of the finest vocalists of our country. Um, Pandit Bhimsen Joshi, Pandit Kumar Gandharva, and all these greats, Mallikarjun Mansoor and Gangubai
Wonderful.
Hangal. Before them is Basavaraj Rajguruji, and so many of them. Almost like every gully had a singer. Even my first guru comes from Harvard, Madhavuriji. So my grandfather used to love listening to music. He used to love vocal music. So playing the tabla gave him proximity to vocalists.
Sure.
That was the idea of him playing tabla, because that automatically gave him access to close centers around vocalists. So my house was frequented in Dharwad. I was not born then. But our house in Dharwad was frequented by the likes of Mallikarjunji, the likes of Savai Gandharuji, and also later on Madhav Kaka, because Madhav Kaka was a great friend of my father. So my house was full of music. I'm sure that must have carried through my father's genes to me. The music that my father has also listened to in his formative years. But I do not inherit music directly in that sense. I was noticed in school, and that was noticed by my mother. My mother's first introduction to classical music was when my father took her to a Bhimsenji concert at night, and she was miserable because that concert started at 10 at night and it got over at 5 in the morning.
As they used to.
And she was not used. She comes from the Konkan area, and she's used to a very regulated lifestyle. अंधार झाला की झोपायचं,
Correct, correct, correct.
उजाडलं की उठायचं, and
गाणी
all
गिणी
that.
कशाला करायची? हा.
Ha. So this first experience itself was so stark
Correct.
that she almost cried after that. Not out of ecstasy, but out of just pain. What is this? And who is this man sitting in front of me making these faces while singing? Why does he have to make so many faces while singing? And all that stuff she
Correct,
went through.
correct.
She noticed, she was a person who told my father that Sanjeev seems to have some inclination towards music. Why don't you hunt for a music teacher? And that is how it started at the age of 12 or 13. Then my father sent me to one class, just like a chota mota class. So it's not a gurukul, or I did not learn from a guru directly. And then I learned from a couple of more people. So this was Mrs. Krishna Lahiri, with whom I started. And then a couple of more people, Prabhakar Gune. And my father was involved in New Bombay Music and Drama Circle. He actually
Sorry, the
was a
last
founder
name.
of New Bombay.
Sorry, the last name you took was
Vishwar Gautam. He was a Thumri singer. He's no more.
Birudada.
Ah.
You, oh,
Biruda, my father was instrumental in helping Biruda settle in Mumbai.
because he used to teach at Gandharva, no? I think he was doing
Not
Kathak
at
at Gandharva.
Gandharva. Not at Gandharva. What happened is that Biruda used to come home and he said, "तुम मेरे सामने आके जरा रियाज करो, मैं तुमको बताता हूँ." He just regulated my रियाज कि ये सुर में नहीं हो रहा है, ये ऐसे करो, just a few things.
Sure.
So that is what just a little introduction. I mean, till then I did not learn from anybody. But one thing is that my first teacher, Krishna Lahiri, actually her class was pretty unique in a way because it was actually kitty party group.
Wow.
So there were some 12 women who used to come and 11 women who used to come and learn from her. They were learning more of semi-classical stuff, bhajans and semi-classical stuff. And what they would do is every month they would assemble in someone's house for that kitty party. The only difference in the kitty party was that they wouldn't play cards. They would sing.
Nice.
So the kitty thing was there. Everyone contributed, and then that thing. But instead of playing cards and instead of just doing gossip, they would sing. All the women would sing some of the other classical stuff.
Okay.
Some of the other semi-classical stuff.
Semi-classical.
Krishna auntie was very impressed with me because I was picking up her classical bandishes from her. She tried teaching me classical bandish and I picked them up. So she had tila far kautuk hota त्याचं.
Right.
She was very happy about it. And so she started inviting me for those kitty parties. Because I was singing classical and because they had so much respect for pure Ragdari, what they would do is they will all sing their bhajans and in the end they will ask me to sing. Because you are singing classical, you will sing in the end. And I was 13, 14, 15.
Okay.
So that was a great encouragement for me. That was number one. Number two, that those parties were interesting because there used to be very tasty food after that.
Right.
I used to look forward to these kitty parties for these two reasons. One is that गाने को मिलता था, दूसरा खाने को मिलता था.
Nice. It rhymes for a reason, right? Khana and Ghana.
Yeah. That is how it started, and that's how the interest developed. She also gave me her father's Santura, my teacher. So I mean, I received a lot of encouragement. Though I mean, I cannot say that was some gharanedar gaiki or anything, but what I received there in those years was invaluable in terms of getting me inclined and interested towards music.
Sure.
And secondly second aspect was my father in 1978 established New Bombay Music and Drama Circle in Vashi. And around 79, my guru Pandit C.R. Vyasji, who became my guru later, but he also came and stayed in Vashi then. He had a house in Vashi. Pandit C.R. Vyasji became the chairman of New Bombay Music and Drama Circle. My father became the secretary. And with his help, he formed a group and he invited most of the great musicians at that time, like Bhimsen ji, like Hari ji, Shiv ji, Pandit Jasraj, Pandit Abhisheki, and all the great musicians have come and performed in Vashi between 79 and 92, 93. Pandit Ravi Shankar has come and performed in Vashi. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Along with these, also the second tier of musicians, also many musicians came. So I have seen Anand Bhate win a prize over here.
Anand Gandharva, as he was.
He was not Anand Gandharva then. He was Anand Bhate. He won a prize. After that, he became Anand Gandharva. He used to take a harmonium thing. He's my age, maybe a year or two older than me.
Yeah.
So I have wo mahal dekha hai maine. I have seen the atmosphere of music. So these things probably make a deep impact because I'm a very late entrant into real music as such. My real music, you can say my tryst with music started at the age of 18. Before that, I also went to Dharwad. I learned from Madhav Kaka, Madhav Guriji. थोड़ा किराने घराने की तालीम थोड़ी सी हुई एक साल 2 साल. But then I was not unable to go to Dharwad again and again. So Madhav Kaka himself suggested, why don't you go to Vyasji?
But these masters, right? The thing with masters like Madhav Gudi or the likes of them, they only sang Gharana Gaiki, is what I mean. It's
Kirana. He was pure Kirana.
He was pure Kirana, exactly. So these masters, they did not know how else to sing other than a Gharana Gaiki, because
yes,
that's the only way to sing. Yeah.
But having said that, Madhav Kaka came from a rich tradition of Kirtankars because his name, Gudi, means a temple.
Right.
Gudi is the name of a temple.
Yeah.
So they were Gudis because they were caretakers of a temple. So their house was a part of a temple complex in Dharwad, in Vasai Yallapu. It was a temple. It was a Venkateshwara temple.
Right.
And Venkatramana temple. And they used to still live in the temple only. Behind the temple was their house. It was connected. It was one thing. The temple and their house, they owned the temple also. They were the owners of that.
Right.
So they were known as Gudis because they were caretakers. So he came from a rich tradition of Kirtankars and Bhajankars. So you should have heard some of his Dasarapadas. Sometimes I find them even more filled to the brim with bhakti. That bhakti he inherited there. It came from there. That bhakti was there, and some of the bhajans I not in the later part, but there are some recordings of his which he has sung these some of the bhajans, Dasarapadas, before he went to Bhim Singh Ji. He was just amazing. I would cry listening to them.
Wow.
He had that element before he went into Gharanedar Gaiki.
Yeah. Yashwant Boy used to say there's something about the soil of Goa and Gadag and all those areas. All those people have such beautiful voices. To begin with, such beautiful voices. Yeah, indeed.
And they are very musical also.
Very musical.
Musical. I mean, they may not, and they are not into too much Qaeda and.
No, not at all.
But they use Qaeda just enough to be able to sing well. They are musical people.
Very.
Especially this belt, as you said. Hubli, Dharwad, Gadag, up to Goa.
Correct. So coming back to your training, you said a couple of years with Madhav Kaka, and then Madhav Kaka said it's not going to work out because you have to travel back and forth so much. And then by then you wanted to learn, like you had this thirst for knowledge.
Yes. I did have it, but I had never thought that this is going to be my mainstay in life. But I realized that I enjoyed being in music. I had some kind of a
certain vision.
Yeah.
So what's another interesting thing that you said, Sanjeev, was your Gharanedar, like proper Gurukul system, Sina ba Sina Talim in its true sense, started with Vyas Bua at the age of 18 or so. Most musicians would hide such a fact, and most musicians would want to say, "नहीं, हम तो 4 साल की उम्र से गा रहे हैं और 5 साल की उम्र से गा रहे हैं," etc., etc. But just to say, what were the challenges by starting?
Absolutely. See, there were certain virtues I was born with. Like I had a great grasp. Anything I would hear once, I could replicate that. So my Guruji taught me something. In one go, I would repeat after him. That is how the talim would go on. He'll sing, I will sing. He will sing, I will repeat. He'll sing, I will repeat. That is how it went. So he was so impressed by that I started learning from him in around, you can say 17 and a half. I was 17 and a half. So around 89 end, I started learning from him. And in 91, he put me directly on stage. And not a small stage. It was like our Guru Purnima function, and Pandit C.R. Vyas's Guru Purnima was a star-studded affair. With Prabhakar Karekar, with Kunda Veling, with Mangala Ranade, Ganapati Bhatt. So त्या लोकांच्या मध्ये मला त्यांनी गायला बसवलं आणि तसा क्राऊड यायचा समोर ऐकायला. प्रोफेशनल तबला प्लेयर्स असायचे. प्रॉपर प्रोग्राम होता तो. इट वॉज लाईक अ प्रॉपर प्रोग्राम. अमन सहायक संघात. दादर.
I remember. Yeah.
So he's just put me on stage directly there. And the next thing he demanded after that was कि या मुलाचा गंडा बंधन करायचं. So in 92 my Ganda Bandhan happened. I sang Yaman.
Okay.
The Guru Purnima, what did I sing? I think I sang Bhairav, if I'm not mistaken. So after the Ganda Bandhan, my Ganda Bandhan was attended by Pandit Jasraj ji and many great people. And Pandit Jasraj ji had announced there कि हमें गुरुजी से कहा उन्होंने बड़े भैया ये लंबी रेस का कोई. So things happened very fast for me when I went to. I was not ready for stage in terms of content. I was a fearless person right from the beginning in terms of being on the stage. I mean, sitting on the stage and singing never scared me. Because I told you that was inculcated to me by my first teacher itself. She gave me that place of honor in their kitty party.
Correct.
And so that since then I've been enjoying performing. So I was not scared of singing, sitting on stage and singing. But when I was put on a big stage straight away, when I was not ready with the content that I had to present, I was just singing with impressions. गुरुजींकडनं शिकलेल्या 4 गोष्टी मी गिरवत होतो स्टेजवर. त्याच्या मागचा लागणारा रियाज माझ्याकडे हवा तेवढा नव्हता. त्याच्या मागचा चिंतन माझ्याकडे तेव्हा नव्हतं. When someone is learning in his own house from the age of 5, 6, 7, these things seep into you very early. So by the time you are 18, 19, 20, तुमच्यामध्ये एका प्रकारचं एक परिपक्वता आलेली असते.
True.
Which I didn't have, and I was put on the stage.
Right.
So what happened was that also gave rise to a certain negative propaganda. A negative image of mine got formed. Then I got stages like Nehru Center and the likes to perform very early in my music career. So a certain amount of people also listen to you with a certain skepticism. भाई ये कौन है? And also that was professionally, and also for my own self, I would never be happy with my performance.
Those are signs of a good musician.
Yeah, but I truly was not singing well, because I mean, it was impressive for some. That's fine. Good music does not need to be only impressive, right? Impressive, 10 things can be impressive, but there has to be thoughtful. I always used to feel incomplete when I would sing, very incomplete. And then came the tough part of my life, where that internal turmoil, finding my own self, and that is still going on. But at least today, when I sit on the stage, I know that I am I have something of my own to put forth on the stage. Something that I have processed, and I am processing. This processing will go on till life goes on. Happened. But after my Ganda Vandan, my Guruji said a very interesting thing. I mean, I'll be forever indebted to him, because many people even today tell me that you don't sound like your Guru. I mean, of course, there are, whatever I see there, there'll be hints of my Guru, but I'm not an out and out copy of my Guru. But my Guru is to be credited for that. Because when he heard me in the Ganda Vandan, I had traces of Kirana Gaiki in me, which I had learned from Madhav Kaka. And my Ganda Vandan featured Madhav Kaka first. First I sang, then Madhav Kaka sang, and then my Guruji sang.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I sang, Madhav Kaka sang, then the Ganda Vandan ceremony happened, and then my Guruji sang as a finale. We were climbing up in my Guruji's building after coming back from the function. Guruji said to my father, Chimalgi, he used to call my father Chimalgi. Chimalgi, संजीव चांगला गेलास, छान गेला. त्याच्या गळ्यामध्ये अशा काही गोष्टी आहेत आता की आता मला विचार केला पाहिजे की मी त्याला कसं भरवायचं, त्या मला गोष्टी घालवायच्या नाहीयेत. So he has some things in him which I do not want, some good virtues in him which he has got from his earlier guru, which I do not want to, I don't want to disturb those. So I have to think how I should feed him.
I can imagine what they were, Sanjeev, having known you and known your swabhav. That certain kirana softness, that certain swar lagav, that certain pukar in their, or even the structuring, I guess, that I was so, that Bhairav that you sang, bro, it was something else. मतलब एक तो कुमार जी की बंदिश लेना, उसको अपनी तरह से प्रोसेस करना, फिर भी उसको कुमार जी की बंदिश रखना, है ना? तो मतलब मैं कम से कम 5-6 बार सुना होगा वो भैरव. Very, very nice.
That was taught to me by Satyashil Kaka.
Okay.
Satyashil Kaka has played an important part in my life, in the later part of my musical life.
Right.
After Guruji, Satyashil Kaka has been kind of a, I've looked up to him for inputs. He has that vision. तू हे चल हे कर, हे वाच जरा, हे शिक बघू चल, असं ते शिकवतात. ते बसून असं तुम्हाला पूर्ण राग सांगतील किंवा पूर्ण
that is not his style. Right.
तुला मी घडवतो बरं असं त्यांना असं he is not interested in doing that.
Right. Going back to your time with Vyas Bua, more than a decade, I'm sure, right?
13 years.
13 years with Vyas Bua. Sorry.
I was like a shadow with him.
Yeah, you were. So when I knew you were, Vyas Bua was there and you were very much with him everywhere. I remember that.
Yeah.
So what was that time like in terms of learning? कैसे होता था? हफ्ते में एक बार, 2 बार, कैसे होता था?
कोई हिसाब नहीं था. I would go to his house almost every day. Whether a talim session would happen or not was not the point. Me being around him was the point. I was around him. So any discussions he had with any musicians, he was teaching someone else, he would be practicing something, I would sit and play the tabla with him. So almost every evening I would be there. And I was also, till 90 my college went on, till 91 end I was also doing some computer course, and then after that I started working also. I did a part-time job till 95, after which I gave it up. That's when I decided I cannot do two things. But my job was in Bandra. I used to stay in Vashi, and Chembur used to fall in the middle. So I would go for my job in the morning, and then come back, and in the evening I would be with Guruji. Sometimes my job would be in the second half of the day. Then I would go to Guruji in the morning, and from Guruji's place so I was like a family member there.
I know.
So that is how I actually don't even remember how many talim sessions or how it actually happened, but I was just there. In those 13 years, the number of concerts my Guruji gave, maybe just 2 or 3% of the concerts I have not been around for some reason. And unfortunately, I was not around when he passed away. He passed away in Kolkata in 2002. And that is the only time when I was not with him for his concert.
Mm. We'll come to that in some time. But again, Talim with Vyas Bua, would that go on? Like, was there like a? I know these masters didn't believe in saying "ek ghante ka talim hai, ek ghante mein khatam ho jayega." They were not that kind of a people.
No, no.
So, but they were also focused teachers. So they would teach for like a stipulated amount of time to make sure you are making optimal use of that.
No, that is one thing. What the my talim was different in a way that, say, there were students who used to come to him and sit with him and learn and go. But I would still be around.
Mm.
I'll be there for their talim also. I'll be sitting on one side. I may be giving theka.
Mm.
Nothing else. I would just make some chai for everyone. I was around all the time.
Mm.
I've witnessed so many different talims of different people. So that was an extra added advantage I've got. And I'm not learned in a way that I just go there, take my lesson and go. Looking back, I think that has been the difference in my being able to grasp so many things despite starting so late in life.
Mm. The number of hours that you got in your Guru
Yeah, I
Sangha.
mean, I was there. Yeah, I experienced my Guru full on.
Mm. Mm.
उनका जिसे सान्निध्य बोलते हैं ना, I was really in the सान्निध्य of my Guru.
उनका गुस्सा देखा है कभी?
कम देखा है, but I've heard his rage was actually quite legendary. But then Guruji, by the time I went to learn from Guruji, he had mellowed down pretty much. Yeah, because 2002 he passed away, 78. So he was what, 65 when I went to learn from him. 65, 66, 65. So by that time he had mellowed down. But एक समय में वो जमादारी नहीं थे. All these other students, Shripad Paradkar, my Guruji's son, Suhas Kaka, they were all shit scared of him. Because वो बहुत फटकारते थे.
किस चीज से नाराज होते थे? What would anger him?
Incompetence. That he could not stand. Showing anything less than 100% effort. Because Guruji has put tremendous effort in his music. And if you would see the other person not putting that kind of effort, that would really enrage him. But he had mellowed down. By the time I went to learn from him, so I got to see it was a very grandfather-grandchild relationship with him that I experienced. Because I was that age for him.
Yes, indeed. It is special for every student when they sit behind the Tanpura in their Guruji's concert, right? But the first time when you're approached by your Guru saying, "Tumra pe baitho, aaj acha parso concert hai, aaj tum baitho." Do you remember the first time you were asked to sit at a concert for the concert?
It just happened very naturally. I don't even remember when it happened. It just happened so naturally because I was spending so many hours in the house playing the Tanpura. That just got replaced on the stage automatically.
Correct. Sure.
And that was also my comfort level when I was sitting behind. And in fact, he would expect us to sing without even intimation.
Older masters believe that imitation and repetition was the way to learn, right? So all these masters were excellent imitators. Kumarji, for example, was an amazing imitator, and repetition to get things right. So the need to sing it 50 times, for example, to ensure you're singing it well. Did he believe in that? Did he make you put you through the grind, or expect you to put yourself through the grind of doing that?
Yes. He was a stickler for riyaz. He was a stickler for repeating certain phrases thousands of times. So he has worked very hard to make his voice conducive to classical music. Because you require a certain amount of robustness and a certain amount of to go and meet the sur in such a way that it becomes one. So he would expect us to do all those things.
What was his style of teaching a rag?
With me, or when when I saw him teaching others also during my tenure with him, it was more of a mehfil. He would just go on singing that rag and you have to repeat. For example, but the only difference was that that mehfil would last, unlike a rag which lasts for 40-45 minutes, his mehfil would last for 3 hours of one rag. So the first alap itself, he would just do alap for 1 hour. And I think that was the most beautiful part of his singing. The way he would unfold the rag without any bandish, without anything, just with alap. So I remember of times of just singing alap of rag like Todi, like Gaud Sarang, like Chayanat, like even Yaman. In fact, we started with Kalyan, Yaman. He taught me Langar tu karajin chubore Mori gagari ya bhari abade mungari brijanari Nirakha nirakha hasa hasa beta mohitari Langar tu karajin chubore. This is the first bandish I learned from him.
Wow.
So, but before, he will never start with the composition straight away. He'll do an alap for. My sessions with him were never shorter than 2 to 3 hours.
क्योंकि एक राग सिखाने का एक तरीका होता है, हर एक का गुनीजन का अलग होते हैं. The point I'm asking you also, this was great what you said, very 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 correct. Like Gajanan Bua, for example, would create राग के phrases, ना? जैसा छोटा छोटा phrase में राग दिसतो.
Oh,
like छोटे phrases. और वो रट्टो.
Correct.
हाँ, वो रट्टो तो बाकी तुम्हारा कंटेंट आ गया, तो उसी का आलाप बनेगा, उसी से बोल आलाप बनेगा.
Correct.
है ना?
You're talking of Gajanan Bua or
Gajanan Bua. Gajanan Bua.
Gajanan, of course. That was his style.
That was his style. Yeah. So I'm also
he had set phrases for each rag. He had those set amount of phrases. इसको रटना ही है. इसको रटना. In fact, he would also teach. I'm not personally learned from, but what I've heard from a student, that he would devise one taan in a rag which will incorporate most sangatis of that rag.
Correct.
And और वो आपको वो एक तान रटने बोलते.
Correct. Vyas Bua was also a prolific composer, right? And there's a certain lalithya. There's something very beautiful about his composition. बहुत अच्छा है. जैसे आपने यमन छेड़ा, तो यमन का एक ताल उनका इतना खूबसूरत है. मिलन तो है पिया कटत नाही पिया कटत नाही तुम बिन रतिया करिया रे मिलन तो है रे. He had exquisite mukhras. But at the same time, his grip on the rag was so tight that it will never once give you a feeling that you're not listening to that rag. Correct. That was the first time I heard this bandish was Karekar Bua singing it. Prabhakar Karekar singing it. Yeah. He used to sing it with a lot of love. From there, your learning with Vyas Bua continued off stage and on stage. Obviously, you're constantly learning when you're behind your guru also. I traveled, extensively traveled with him. Yeah. In India especially. I moved around with him everywhere. Like a shadow. I told you I was like a shadow with him. What was that point where you knew that you didn't want to do this day job that you were doing? Abhi nahi karna hai. By 95, I had already worked for 4.5 years. And I'm a kind of person who's very passionate at, if I'm doing something, I'll do it passionately. I didn't know it in so many words then, but it was more of action then. Very passionate group of people. So he didn't know much about me. So he was generally saying that you should eat, live and sleep Nixelcad. That Nixelcad was the name of the firm.
So I said, yeah, I have spent so many nights in the office just working on something on my own, not because I had to do it, but because we wanted to finish with, crack something. So we've just given that kind of time, that kind of passionate work. But then when he said that you should have nothing else but this on your mind, I said, no, but I have music on my mind. He said, how important is music for you? I said, music is the most important thing for me. Because that's what I am already a semi-professional in that. So he said, what is your passion? You cannot have two passions. You tell me one passion. I said, music. He said, then you must not be continuing to work here. You are doing yourself and you are doing this organization disservice by doing this. I said, fine, I put in my papers. I immediately got it. There was a revelation. Oh, yes, what he's saying makes sense.
So you decided not to do this and jump into music full time. As an adult, we have financial responsibilities, right? And
I didn't have financial responsibilities then. What happened is my father supported me so much. He was a well-placed manager in Siemens, and so he told me, till the time I'm alive and I'm working, you'll be taken care of. But you just have to provide for yourself after that. So really speaking, it was from 2000 that 2001, 2002 that I really had to take up the responsibility of the family as such, financially, say.
Sure. Okay. There are two simultaneous topics in my mind, and I want to talk to both of them with you. I'm aware that you have significant of observation, call it research if you should, in voice culture, in a certain amount of good voice production.
Yes.
I think you have mastered that technique for yourself. And the second thing I just was what happened to you after Yaspua passed away. How did your music change? How did your learning change? Or did you feel the need to learn further? Or what did you do after Yaspua?
I was already in touch with Satyashil Kaka before Guruji passed away. So I was going and meeting him. There was no official, I mean, till to date, I have not officially learned from Satyashil Kaka. There was a lot of affection. I used to go and sit in Samvad Foundation in Walkeshwar. In the late 90s, I've been a lot in touch with, and I was also influenced a lot by Kumarji. So association with Satyashil Kaka made a lot of sense. So after Guruji passed away, that was so my learning didn't stop really. And you can also say that I no longer needed Sina Pasina Tali. I just needed influences, inputs. I needed good sangat, people with depth. And Satyashil Kaka offered all of that because he has depth not only in music, but he has depth in thought, he has depth in sahitya, he has depth in the lilt of music. He has worked on folk music. He's a maverick in his own right.
Absolutely.
And not just that, he has also created a career out of musicology or archival of music. That is what his career has been, really speaking. Today, he's performing more than he has performed then.
Yes.
He got a Ford Foundation fellowship and he created Samvad Foundation out of that. So I think in terms of musical inputs, I've been very lucky that I had found him already. So I didn't, of course, Guruji was a huge lacuna in my life. Once he passed away, there was a huge vacuum. Simply because of the volume of time I would spend with Guruji. Suddenly I had a lot of time. Of course, by that time, I had also started learning Carnatic music.
Oh, wow. Right. We'll come to that time.
About 2000, about 99, 98, 99, one of Guruji's disciples, Sri Ram Parshuram, I met him, and he and his wife, I was highly influenced by them. I used to visit them in Chennai, and they started me off in Carnatic music. Not formally, but they just sent me some cassettes to listen to, some inputs. And then when I asked, Sri Ram suggested, why don't we go to Balamani Mami, T.R. Balamani, who has also been guru to the likes of Bombay Jayashree and Shankar Mahadevan and many great singers. She's one of the greatest gurus in Mumbai.
Mm.
So I had started learning Carnatic music regularly.
Right.
And that became more regular after Guruji passed away. So I was learning more of Carnatic music, and I was also interacting with Satyashikar.
Mm.
And then after Balamani Mami, I also went to S. Balachandran, who was also known as Flute Balachandran.
I know.
Hamsika's father.
I know.
So I have learned from him for many years. In fact, that was a very fruitful association, because Balamani Mami was again, I sing and you repeat. But Balachandran sir could come to my wavelength and talk to me about it. And he would feed me with enough information so that I could process whatever he was giving me with my understanding of Hindustani music. It becomes very difficult for a singer when he learns Carnatic music just like that, without any
Absolutely.
any briefing.
Correct.
It becomes very tough. You cannot process it.
I have a lot of interest in Carnatic. Yeah. Okay. The fun of it is people look for differences, right? And the moment you start looking for similarities, I've found there's so much apathy, or not ignorance, apathy. म्हणजे जाऊ दे ना, कशाला ते, काय कळत नाही. That sort of a mindset sometimes, or Carnatic music being put at a level where he's saying, ये बहुत अलग है हमसे, ये देखने की जरूरत नहीं है, sort of thing.
The worst thing our Hindustani musicians say, they sthiravatच नाही. That's the worst thing you can say about Carnatic music.
Absolutely.
Because then you have not understood the crux of it.
Correct. You've not understood the crux of it. Correct.
Carnatic music is not about sura or sthiraone. Carnatic music is about phrasing.
I just love Carnatic music because I know how to listen to it now.
Oh, great.
So earlier I didn't know what I was listening to. Now I don't look for Pantu Varali in a Puriya Dhanashri or the other way. I don't hear that anymore.
You should not.
You should not. Na? मला तर तसं ऐकूच येत नाही रे. म्हणजे
तुला सारी गोष्ट सांगतो. धानी सा ग म प नि सा नि प म ग नि ग सा, हा आपला धानी आहे. पण तोच राग तो धानी वाटणार नाही, इतका वेगळा होतो.
बरोबर.
सा ग म प नि सा नि प म ग सा, which is so different.
करेक्ट. आपलं गाणं ठेक्याचं गाणं आहे, त्यांचं गाणं तालाचं गाणं आहे. सो
आणि त्यांना नाहीच लागत, त्यांना तो नकोच असतो मृदंगीस्ट. तो मृदंगीस्ट इज ऑन हिज ओन ट्रिप. त्यांचं हे पुरेसं असतं त्यांना.
करेक्ट. So I think the right comparison, if there has to be one, can be between Drupad.
Yes.
Can be between Drupad, but not so much Khayal. मतलब कहाँ? It's.
अलग. They are very different.
And Khayal is a lot more Prakrit than Drupad or Carnatic music is. So now I've developed senses. In the last 5 years, I'm listening to it. Sometimes I sing, I learn rags from Carnatic style, and I enjoy them.
Actually, that Carnatic music training is what actually held me together after Guruji went away.
Right.
The vacuum that Guruji's created in my life was kind of filled by Carnatic music then.
How did that impact the way you were singing?
It just gives me insight in Sur. सुराचा मला इन्साइटच वेगळे इन्साइट्स मिळतात. मला श्रुतींचा इन्साइट मिळाला त्याच्यात. आणि किती प्रकारांनी तुम्ही श्रुती लावू शकता. इनफॅक्ट now I can see that Kumarji was highly impacted by Carnatic music. Kumarji's singing and his concept of Sur is highly impacted by Carnatic music. Like the Madhyam of Chaiti Bhoop. भूपातच मध्यम लावायचे कुमारजी. That has come from Mohanam. If you see Mohanam, which is Bhoop's counterpart in Carnatic, sa re ga pa da sa da ba ga re sa va ra veena mrudu pani मनरुहलोचनुराणी सुरनुपमा. Can you hear the madhyam here? Gama ga gama ga gama ga. आता त्याच्यामुळे निमोरिका रे निमोरिका मोरा रे निमोरिका मोरा रे निमोरिका. हे कुमारजींचं कुठून आला मध्यम? त्यांच्यावरती कर्नाटिक म्युझिकचा असर होता. मग ते म्हणाले तर त्या तो मध्यम डोकावला आतमध्ये. मी नाही आणला त्याला, तो आला आतमध्ये.
मला एनॉलॉजी खूप आवडते, जनरली एनॉलॉजी द्यायला. आणि सूर जरी आला तर प्रत्येक सूर कुठून तरी येतो ना. असं आता मी आता इथे आलो तर त्या खोलीत नाही ह्या खोलीत आलो फॉर एक्झाम्पल, कुठून तरी, आणि इकडनं तिथे जाईन फॉर एक्झाम्पल. वी गो फ्रॉम हिअर टू देअर अँड देअर टू हिअर. सूर पण कुठून तरी येतो ना, त्याचं उगम काहीतरी असतं की नाही?
असतोच.
आणि त्याच म्हणजे स्वयंभू काहीच नसतं ना इन रिअल.
जीवात काही नसतं. Everything is there. It's just that we catch it.
No, but
some people are more tuned into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, Sanjeev, I was referring to more sur in terms of हा पंचम लावला समजा, त्याला साचा आस आहे की नाही? That is what I'm saying. but तो कुठून तरी तो पंचम येतो. फॉर एक्झाम्पल त्याला काय there is something that brings him to that madhyam ka sthiti, you know.
Correct.
आणि just understanding where to stop. If you're singing दरबारी तो गंधार कुठे थांबवायचा, मल्हार तो गंधार कुठे ऑसिलेट करायचा.
Correct.
Know where to stop. तो वो कॉम्प्लेक्स नहीं होता है. या नाइकी गाना है तो नाइकी का गंधार कैसे अलग थोड़ा अलग लगेगा. So that
correct.
हाँ. Anyway, this was good. So from your interest in Carnatic Sangeet was not really a revelation to me, but it was a part that I had forgotten. I was aware of your interest in Carnatic Sangeet, but it is something I had forgotten.
I've learned for a good 10 years, boss.
Yeah, very nice.
Though I have not put it on stage, there are reasons for that. But someday I wish to, because Balchandran sir had a intense wish that I should perform Carnatic music. He almost had that ambition more than me.
Okay.
त्यांना मला म्युझिक अकॅडमी मध्ये he wanted me to perform Carnatic music. He had that thing, but that never happened. But hopefully that, I mean, I don't completely rule that out, but maybe someday.
Carnatic music मध्ये बघशील ना, they have, I mean, speaking of social aspects of it, there's a lot of pressure on some Carnatic musicians to sing Hindustani rags. उनसे मांगते हैं श्याम कल्याण गाओ, मियाकी मल्हार गाओ, and I think they should not.
They should not.
There is pressure on Hindustani musicians, but वो क्या, that pressure pretty much ends at Hamsa Dhwani.
Sar, as I used to call him Sar. SAAR.
Sar.
That typical South Indian way of saying Sar. What Sir wanted me to, and what I also was looking out when I sang Carnatic, that when I sing Carnatic, I'm not a Hindustani musician who is singing Carnatic.
Wow.
Okay. That is, I've learned it with that very strongly in my mind. I'm not a Hindustani musician who is singing Carnatic. So when I'm singing Carnatic, I don't want a hint of even my Hindustani training to come into it. I should be able to keep it that separate. And that used to happen whenever I would perform Carnatic music in closed circles. They would say that if we did not know you were a Hindustani musician, we cannot guess. Even the diction.
Interesting.
The only thing I regret is that I don't understand the language.
Interesting, very nice.
O Raghava Marugelara, 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 O Raghava Marugela Raghava. So माझा आकार सुद्धा हिंदुस्थानी म्युझिशियन सारखा नाही लागता का मला?
Correct. I was going to notice that because the shape
Whenever
of your voice also changed.
yes, it will change. तो
Yeah.
लगावच वेगळा आहे.
Right. Very
I'm a
interesting.
different person when I'm singing Carnatic music.
यार तूने सब भुला दिया मेरे दिमाग में क्या था यार तू. We spoke about your training. We spoke about your performances. We spoke about what we didn't talk about was your teaching style. And you're a fantastic teacher. I know some of your students. So you make a good teacher. You make a really good teacher. How is your style different from the way you learned?
Just what we discussed just now, that I had a lot of time with me when I was learning from Guruji. I was dedicated to that. Most students will not have that kind of time today, nor do I have that kind of time. So my teaching style is very encapsulated. I teach small things at a time. Like one session, I may just take up the bandish, nothing else. Just get the contours of the bandish right. There might be sessions in which I will just take up a tal aspect or just the laya aspect. So I kind of compartmentalize it, and then sometimes I make it into a mehfil and present it like, oh, today we'll sing this rag. But seldom is my unlike my Guruji's sessions, which would be like a mehfil. It's like every session with him was like a mehfil. 2-3 tasachi eka ragachi mehfil. I also need to see to it that whatever I give them is precise, to the point, and something with which they can work on. घरी जाऊन त्याच्यावर काम करायचं सुचलं पाहिजे ना. You should be able to work on something.
Indeed.
Just soaking in that atmosphere is one thing. That has one virtue. It worked for me because I was in that subject all through the day and night. Worked for me. And I spent that much time with Guruji. How many students have that kind of time to spend? Unless they take up music as a full-time thing, they have some other profession, they have their own businesses to attend to or something else.
Absolutely. No, true.
So in today's world, that kind of learning and teaching is, I will not say completely not possible, but it's less probable. All my students, I teach the Awaaz Sadhana aspect that I've learned from Pandit Rajendra Manekar. And in that process, I've also learned some elements of Jaipur Gaiki from him, because he's a staunch, he has thought process on all different Gaikis, but he has learned Jaipur Gaiki from Kanetkar board.
Here is technology between you and I that is facilitating this today. We are in two different hemispheres.
Yeah.
Technology is a part of all our lives, and music is not different. How do you think technology is creeping into the performance side of music now?
I've still not given it too much thought. I was never convinced that technology can bring an entire experience of music to the listener, especially live music. So how can that experience of the singer and of the aura of the sur that he's creating can come through the technology is something which I have my doubts on. But otherwise, everything else, like the information is definitely coming through. But the experience of it, I am not yet convinced about.
What is your experience like when you sing in front of a camera? Who do you sing for?
My experience is much better because I'm singing the way I sing. The only thing is that I don't have a live audience in front of me. Like कोई मेरे सामने बैठा नहीं है. But at the same time, I can see a few people. Like if I'm singing to Zoom, I'm seeing you sitting there. And but I'm experiencing the aura of the sur in this room, and that experience is live. But I'm talking from the listener's point of view. I don't think that entire experience comes through. That immersion into music may not happen, which I have experienced in a baithak or sometimes even in an auditorium in special cases.
Sure.
But having said that, it's still a great alternative. For a person like you, who You cannot think of flying down to Mumbai every now and then. So how are you to experience? So you at least take a 60% experience of that.
Absolutely.
And and it helps for a person like you to listen to music in this way, because you have already experienced music in its entirety. So you can always translate it within you.
Correct.
But for a person who directly gets introduced to our music through this, that person needs to also experience this aspect
Absolutely.
of being immersed in the music to really know what it is.
Correct. Correct.
Else it is more information and less experience coming through.
Correct. I agree totally. The purpose of this music is to be in the same space as the musician, and it will be redefined in its own way, and it has been redefined. But I guess
just the tanpura, the aura of the note or the envelope of notes that the tanpura creates, how can I replicate that?
No, you can't. But unfortunately, like playing the devil's advocate, more and more people are using iTabla Pro as against even using tanboras in their concerts. I feel disappointed. When Mumbai around to be tambura
I at least use the Swaramandal. So what happens is that the tanpura anyway does not reach out very well.
Was there a certain musician whose Swaramandal or the sound you like?
It came to me from Jagdish Prasad ji.
Oh wow!
That because I've seen him from close quarters. I've accompanied with him. That was one aspect which I have not discussed with you, because Gunidas Sangeet Sammelan has been an important event in my life.
Yes.
During those years, Gunidas Sangeet Sammelan used to happen not only in Mumbai, but in Delhi, Kolkata. So I would be there in all those places. So I've seen many artists up close. And people like Jagdish Prasad, who are also close to my Guruji's son, Shashi Kaka. So because of that closeness, I got to associate with him. I've spoken with him, I accompanied him on stage. And maybe that interest in Swaramandal, I think, came from there. Because I've seen him actually handle the Swaramandal.
माझ्याकडे 6 स्वरमंडळ आहेत.
Oh.
I restore the auto harp.
Oh, how nice. And my first Swaramandal came to me. I have a friend who is a friend of Rashid Bhai. And Rashid Bhai had given him his Swaramandal. So that Swaramandal came to me. And Rashid Bhai's first Swaramandal, which Rashid Bhai himself had prepared.
Right.
He had got it made from the Karigar himself.
Correct. The original Swaramandal in modern India is definitely the auto harp. What Kishore Tai had.
Yes. But I don't use the auto harp. Kolkata mein auto harp nahi bana. Kolkata mein their strings are also spaced more. They use thicker strings.
Yeah.
Of course, the concept is that of the auto harp. But it is not designed in such a way that it is supposed to play chords.
What do I say about this man? I don't know. I fall short of words. All I can say is a big thank you. And it is hard that you find good modern musicians with a very unanimous and a wide outlook towards music, and they are not bound by a myopic vision of what they have learned. I think Sanjeev is a rare amalgamation of the good of many systems of music, and he's an articulate speaker, as you've experienced. All I can say is thank you. I don't know what else to say to you, boss.
Thank you, Mayur, and it has been a pleasure sharing my whatever little I have experienced. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to bring some things out of the closet. I didn't know they existed. Today, while speaking to you, some things I also gained a different perspective of a few things of my past which have influenced me.
Thank you, Sanjeev.
So great. Thank you very much.
Arey, thank you.
Thank you.